You're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. We are live. Kayleigh, how are you?
Hello, I am very good, thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, look, just to let you know, because we've been having a pre-chat, I don't take drugs, all right? All right. I'm just naturally happy. I'm naturally happy. We're going to the theatre this evening, so I'm not going to work so much this afternoon. So we're going to go off down to Torquay, and me and my wife. So that's why. Like school. D-Mob happy, that's how I am. We're going to go and see The Fisherman's Friends. I don't know if you've heard of The Fisherman's Friends.
No.
Absolutely incredible. They're a bunch of guys that in Mevagissey, which is where Dr. Foster, Dr. whatever he is from as well. I don't know if you want. There's a TV program. So Mevagissey, not Mevagissey. Someone's going to shoot me now. Anyway. Down in Cornwall somewhere, beautiful little fishing village, and they're singers. And what happened is they got well known and they ended up singing at Glastonbury. And so a few years ago, they did a movie on Netflix. Oh, sorry, it is on Netflix, but they did a movie, and it was a really, 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 really lovely movie, all about how they got together and the story and stuff like that. Well, so the theatre is the musical of the story, but I guess it's based on the film. So yeah, and they're lovely, and they're real people, and it's a great film. So if you want to watch a great feel good movie, then find The Fisherman's Friends. Absolutely superb, and the music is I can't think of the word, but yeah, it's really, really, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So yeah, that's why I'm excitable today. Yeah. Very nice. And I'm also excitable today because I want to find out all about this Telleroo thing. So so tell us, Kayleigh, all about you, please.
Yeah, no problem. Kayleigh Graham, currently head of partnerships and growth at Telleroo, which I can tell you all about in a minute. But background is very much in banking. Please don't shoot me. Commercial and corporate banking originally, looking after farmers of all businesses on the South Coast originally. Moved into corporate alternative finance, and then started working with accountants properly about 4 years ago now, launching various advisory services and carried on since then.
Working with the bank, don't shoot me. I love that. I love that because there was a time when if you worked at the bank, you were brilliant. That was amazing, and it just got such a bad name. And I think it was around the time that I was at the bank, it all started going pear-shaped, but it had nothing to do with me, I promise.
Well, I joined after that, and I've still somehow managed to get a bad rap for it.
It's shocking. It's shocking. But yeah, it was a respected industry, and now it really isn't, and it's a real shame. So Telleroo, great name. Where did that come from?
I actually asked this when I joined Telleroo, of course, and the honest answer is it's payments, right? And so you had bank tellers that dealt with payments, and at the time Deliveroo were getting quite big, so it was like, well, the Roo bit sounds good, so we'll put the two together and Telleroo.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. Yeah. No, I did think maybe that is where it's come from, because you do have bank tellers. So explain to us then, what does Telleroo do?
Effectively, we automate payments to both suppliers and for payroll as well. And that is done effectively by syncing in with accounting software, so the likes of Xero, etc., allowing you to extract invoices that need to be paid, putting those through as batches of payments effectively, and then pushing those out the other side, because typically business owner will be logging into bank account with a card reader or a code or whatever. They log in, they're manually going through, looking at Xero, okay, yeah, I need to pay that, putting in the details, double checking the amounts, sending those out, and doing that potentially hundreds of times a month, right? Taking tons of time, and you've got a real bottleneck typically with who's allowed to do that, right? So what we're trying to do is strip out a lot of the legwork with that, but also give our accountant and bookkeeping community the ability to support the clients with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. This would have meant nothing to me a while back, but now I'm running my business. Hey, see if you can guess. I've got a birthday anniversary tomorrow. Guess how many years I've been going?
Oh, I'm going to go with 2.
I know, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And I was paying a couple of bills this morning, and so yeah, you're right. Luckily, I haven't got this huge corporation. So, but if you think about some of the the restaurants in town, they must be paying all kinds of invoices all over the shop.
100%, right? And a lot of them get multiple invoices from the same supplier because they order different batches of alcohol or meat or vegetables or whatever it is, and they end up with 10, 20 invoices to the same supplier to pay, right? They've either got to sit and add them all up and do that, or pay them all individually. And actually, that's not what business owners set up their business to do, right? You set up to do whatever it is that you wanted to be passionate about, not to spend 2 hours logged into your bank account trying to get payments, right?
Yeah. And so your software does all of this automatically?
Automatically to a point, in that effectively what we will do is extract the data from Xero. So we've got a two-way API sync with Xero. We'll pull that data in. We'll show you, okay, here's everything that you could possibly want to pay based on what's in Xero. You then just go tick, 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 create batch payment, and there you go. You've got that batch of payments. Your accountant can do that for you. Your bookkeeper can do that for you. And actually, that's where we focus a lot of the time. They go in, do that, suggest it to you. Client goes in, gives it a scan, goes, yeah, I'm happy, approve. Those payments are then approved. And once we get to whatever date you've chosen to send them, off out they go, and you haven't got to worry about them again.
Okay, so accountants and bookkeepers are currently doing a bit more bookkeeping because we've got things like Dext and Xero and all that sort of malarkey. Yeah. So that's taking a bit of weight off the client, of the business owner, of the chef or the restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Because that's automated, that gives the accountant more power. They can charge more for their services. They can do a better service. They're getting better data that makes the accounting so much better, the tax return so much better. And what you're saying now, they can add another service to their bow and say, right, we can now do all of your payments for you as well.
100%. I think there's a couple of things to it, right? You've got people, like you say, doing more bookkeeping, etc. than ever. And I think there's a few factors that then come into play, right? We see some firms who have already been supporting clients with payments, but they've been added onto bank accounts and they've got a drawer full of various card readers with stickers on the back to work out which one's for which client, right? And that's
really
great. When you're all sat in the office and you're there and you can do it, right? Fine, I guess it works. It's not ideal, but it kind of works. But the reality is you then add in COVID, hybrid working. You're not in the office with those card readers. So then what? You're carrying a Sainsbury's bag around with you in case you need to make a payment for a client, right? So you've got that happening. We then have the added element of actually what's going on at like a macroeconomic level. What we're seeing is businesses outsourcing that finance function even more, because having a finance manager in the business that's costing them 50, 60 grand a year, actually, if they can outsource that to their accountant at half of that cost, for example, that's a great idea. And then actually on top of that, there's the kind of risk and fraud element, right? Fraudsters are getting cleverer and cleverer as time goes on. They are able to do much more complex things than I think we ever imagined, right? And so actually there are some businesses that are really, really concerned about that. And they're still manually writing out checks and hand delivering them to people, right? As crazy as that sounds, people are still doing it. And what we're able to do in this is give our accountants, bookkeepers, the ability to support the clients with this in an efficient way, but also in a secure way, right? And deliver that en masse, as you say.
That you said check. That is so funny. that is so funny. There's a whole generation of people haven't got a clue what a check is.
You laugh though, but I spoke to a business a couple of weeks ago, and I was the first thing I always say when I speak to businesses is just walk me through what your current process looks like. And she basically said, we get emailed our invoices and we print them out, and then I give them to our MD and he looks at them and goes, yep, and he highlights them one color if he's happy to pay them, gives them back to her. She then puts them in a spreadsheet and then sends that spreadsheet back to him for him to go, yep, we can pay these ones. And then she manually writes out the checks and then they get sent out. And I went, I'm sorry, what? Next joke? But that's the process that they're living with. And we walked through Telleroo and I said, right, this is how it plugs in, this is what it works. And she was like her entire world had exploded, right?
And now I'm going to be made redundant.
Well, no, people say that, right? But actually it's let's free you up, particularly when we're talking to accounting firms who are doing like an outsourced FD service, etc. It's like, actually, payments are really important and they need to be done, but we don't want them taking up 20% of the time of stuff that you could be spending on making actual
Productive work,
right?
productive, not repetitive, not boring. Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
Far too long doing exams to be sitting making payments.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And this is why I love tech. You know, if it's used properly, then that's what happens. Now, this brings us right back to the start of our conversation before we went live when we were talking about records and record players. Okay. Why would I want to get a record out and put it on my record deck when I can just say, Alexa, play Marillion? Hey, why would I do that? And this is exactly the same with business. And how many businesses are doing just that? Because the other thing is, right, is most, if not all of the accountants that I talk to are switched on, savvy, and using all this amazing tech. You know, they're all Xero or QuickBooks or Sage or what have you. But there's a lot of accountants out there that are still doing it manually and stuff like that. So all of their clients aren't aware of these products because 100%. They're not telling them. You know, the accountants that I'm talking to are turning around to their clients and going, "Oh, you need this. You take photos of your kids on your phone, so take photos of your receipts, press a couple of buttons, and it's all gone into the thing like magic. And then you have Telleroo, and everything's paid." That's what they expect today. But you've got this whole tranche of people that are missing out. 100%. How do we get them to wake up to the 21st century, Kayleigh?
It's a really tricky one, right? And it's something that I talk about quite a lot with firms, because I think what happens is when you look at like life cycle of a business, right, from idea, sitting around a kitchen table going, this is something we want to do, right through to exit, actually a lot of accounting services and things that are offered have a trigger point, right? I.e., okay, actually business is starting to expand, they're hiring employees, let's think about employment advice and do they need HR support? And okay, actually they're now growing quite exponentially, cash flow is a bit of an issue, shall we look at funding or finance for them? Okay, tick, that goes in there. They're thinking about exit, let's start talking about succession planning and what the tax implications are of that. And there's quite nice milestones for a lot of these things, right? And yet payments are made literally from the moment they go, we need to pay someone to design a website, right the way through to exit, but seem to have been lost in that kind of journey, right? And there are providers that do it. There's us. We've obviously got competitors out there, but it still feels like a bit of a little hidden gem, right? And something that people haven't quite cottoned onto. And so I think a lot of that, when I speak to accountants and bookkeepers, is there's a fear and a risk element to that goes, okay, well, I can do the bookkeeping, I can do all of this, but at the point where it comes to making the payments, that feels risky, having our kind of stamp and our fingers on clients' actual funds. And so they shy away from it and they get right up to the point of giving the client the list of exactly who they need to pay and how much, and then kind of hand it over. And it's like, actually, whether you're a small Bob the Builder business, actually, you're probably better off out on site, right? You don't want to be sat in the van trying to log into your online banking to pay 10 people on a Friday morning. That's not a good use of your time. And you're probably going to make a mistake. And then your bookkeeper accountant's got to rectify it anyway, right? And also your massive corporate, again, do you really want your finance manager sat making payments for 3 hours? Probably not. Let's automate that. Let's have them doing useful cash flow forecasts and thinking about the future of the business, right? It's wherever you sit on that journey, payments are a pain point, and it's just getting people to go, actually, there are solutions to this that are secure, that are easy, that we can implement, right? And have it become part of that core app stack that says we have Dext, we have Xero, we have an Approval Max, and we have Telleroo and Chaser, for example, right? That goes, that's what we use because that just makes everything flow.
Yeah, no, amazing. So tell me then, what does the head of partnerships and growth mean? What do you actually do in your daily role?
What do I actually do? Yeah. A whole bunch of different things. No day is the same.
That's good.
My week is set out that typically Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I take calls with accountants, and that will be talking about process and pricing and implementation and which clients does this work for, and the troubleshooting side of, okay, we were thinking we charge this, but that doesn't feel right in terms of time taken, etc. And we go through that and talk about where this really sits and how they implement and make this work for them. Mondays are typically higher level. What's the strategy? Who are we aiming for? What do numbers look like? What do we need to be doing? And that's typically when the entire Telleroo team get bombarded with Slack messages from me, like, what about this? What about this? What do we think of this? Can you take a look at that? And then Thursdays are my admin day, follow-ups, battling through emails, whatever LinkedIn messages have come in, planning for events, you name it. That's that stuff. So it's a bit of a mix, but I think for me, the thing that's really, really important in my role is that we obviously want to sell Telleroo, right? And we want to have partnerships with these people. But as I'm sure many an accountant can vouch for, I'm the first person to say this doesn't feel like it's the solution for you and your clients right now, because I think it's important that these things are done right. And I think far too often we hear the horror stories of apps in this space and the things that they try and push out. And I am very much when the time is right, if you are doing what you're meant to be doing, the tech is good, the support is good, and you are genuinely trying to partner with these firms, when they need you, they'll come back and they'll find you.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
for me, that's what those conversations are about.
Yeah, and that is the school of selling that I did. So I've been in sales for 30 years, Kayleigh. I know I don't look that old, but but the thing is, I don't think I've actually sold much in that time. What I've done is I've made a compelling argument, and people have then come back and purchased from me.
100%, right?
And isn't that a nicer way to do business?
Literally the best thing ever, right? I had a conversation with she won't mind me saying, Beth from Two Sisters Accounting, right? She came through.
How are they? I haven't spoken to Beth.
Website
I haven't spoken to Beth for ages.
Oh yeah, she came through the website, booked something in. We had a call, chatted it through. We were like, actually, you know what? This doesn't feel like the right solution for what you're trying to achieve for this client. We left it. I then saw her at a brunch last week, and we were talking about exactly this, right? And I was like, you'll notice, Beth, that I haven't done any hard selling follow-up with you, right? It was very much, here's the information, you know what we have, when or if you need us, we're here. And we were talking about some of the horror stories that go out, right? And actually, I think that confirmation back from accountants sat around a table going, no, you know what, you guys are doing this right, is great, because I think sometimes you see what other people are up to and they're like, you must contact this person 17 times before you can close them as a lead, etc. And I'm like, you know what? That's not how I operate. Our CEO is incredibly supportive of my outlook on that. And I genuinely think it's the right way to be, right? We've got a pool of accountants that love what we do, give us the feedback. We work with them really closely, and we've got a whole bunch of people that know we exist, and when they're ready, they'll come to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Rome wasn't built in a day. And this is the thing. And so obviously in this space we hear of all the stories and what goes on, and there's some great podcasts out there as well. And so yeah, there's some lovely stories, and there's some horror stories. But hey, that's business. That is business. And
right?
and some businesses are a little short-sighted. I don't know if you saw my post yesterday. I didn't have a run-in with Adobe. I just had a chat with them because they wanted to charge me an exit fee for coming out of for stopping paying my monthly fee. And I didn't read that in the thing. And we had a little chat. It was all, what you do nowadays. You don't pick up the phone anymore. But they listened to what I had to say, and they said, yeah, that's fair enough. And we'll waive the exit fee. And I think businesses are getting more attuned to the customer, because even a few years ago that would have been no, tough, that's it, take it or leave it. That's the way we are. But I think businesses are, we're all human at the end of the day, and I think these businesses have given their team members the autonomy to make those decisions. You're probably far too young to remember something called Little Britain.
I know of it. I can't say I ever actively watched it.
No. So basically, there was one character in the show, and she used to tap on the computer. And if I can turn my keyboard off, she would tap on the keyboard like that.
No.
The computer says no. Yeah, absolutely. And people would hide behind that, And I think today that doesn't happen anymore, or the experience that I've had, it doesn't happen anymore.
It's the same as I think there's a couple of things that we see pretty commonly in this space, right? One is tying people into contracts that they don't really want to be in. And that's something we don't do. It's like, if you want to cancel, let us know. You cancel, you're not tied in for any fixed period, because we want our customers to use us because they see the value and they love what we do, not because they have to pay us, right? So there's that element. And the other thing is discounts, right? it's every day. It's like, you can sign up now, get 50% off. Sign up now and get 60% off. And it's like, okay, is that the problem though? I think that's the thing that people jump to automatically is, well, we'll just discount it. It's like, okay, well, is price the problem here? Or is it that they don't see the value, or they don't understand where this is going to fit, or that the product isn't the right fit? And I think people jump to, well, we'll just discount it. And 9 times out of 10, price wasn't the issue here, right? And I think that, again, is really important. It's something I talk about quite a lot. Naturally, you get to the end of these conversations and people go, can we get a discount? And my answer is no, you can't, because this is what it costs and this is what it's worth. And I say, what we need to do here is work out whether you're going to get the benefit of it. So how long is this taking you? What do you charge that time at? And does it make sense for you to do it? Yes. Okay, great. Well, then we don't need to have a conversation about a discount. No. Okay, well, maybe this isn't the product for you and we need to look at something else.
Yeah. When you tell that story about that lady that was, putting all the stuff back into a spreadsheet and then take it to the boss, whatever that it cost is going to be cheaper than paying her salary. Surely that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
So there's something happening in May. I see quite a few posts on LinkedIn about it now, the 10th and 11th of May.
Oh,
is it your birthday, is it?
My birthday is the 15th of May.
All right, okay. I haven't seen any posts about that, but I have seen a few about this thing called Accountants.
Yes.
I guess you guys will be there.
We will be, yes. We did our first in-person event last year at Accountants in Manchester, we'd been going 6 years, but it was our first event at a show, which was exciting.
Wow.
Yes, we are doing Accountants London, so we'll have whole stand, goodies, the usual bits and bobs, and then I am also speaking at Accountants, which will be exciting.
Well, get you speaking. Yeah. So look, there's 2 people on this show today that are speaking at Accountants, so that's cool.
Yeah.
What stand number are you on? So we can come and find you.
Oh no, our head of marketing is going to kill me because I should definitely know that, but I don't. So I'll put it in the comments afterwards.
Yeah, please do. So I shouldn't have asked if you knew it. So but this is the thing, right? This is what I'm working with a guy who's having a stand, and I've got a stand with payroll sorted.
Nice.
And so we are stand 430, dead easy number to remember because it's 4:30.
Nice.
So we're stand 430, and I said to this other guy that I'm working with, I said, you need to know that number and quote it wherever you go. Put it on your email footer so that everyone knows that they can come and find you and stuff like that. So we'll find you. Doing anything big? You got anything exciting? You're allowed to tell us what you're doing, or is it still a secret?
I mean, I think it's always come to the stand and find out, right? Come to the stand and find out. But yes, hopefully we will have a pretty exciting announcement product-wise. So definitely come along and see what we're up to.
Oh, there's a tease.
There we go.
There's a tease. Right, I've got a question for you, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to take my book so that people can buy it at Accountants. How many copies do you reckon I should order?
Oh,
because there's going to be 10,000 accountants there. That's
yeah,
crazy,
I mean, 10% might be punchy. More so if you have to carry 1,000 books, that could be
that's all the way from Devon. Yeah, that's the other thing.
That could be intense. Maybe a couple of hundred.
That's exactly what I ordered this morning. I ordered 200 books this morning. So I don't know what
a wait list.
I don't know what 200 books looks like. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So I have to work out how I do that. But yeah, there we go with that. And didn't I see a nomination come through for someone in this show today?
Maybe, possibly, potentially. Yes.
Well done. Yes. Well done, you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a very nice surprise actually to see in the inbox.
Yeah, this is I'm trying to remember which software company are promoting it. It is Ignition. I wasn't sure whether it was that one or the other one. But yeah, and I keep seeing them popping up, and it's great to actually give a round of applause to all the women in accounting, because what you're doing, Kayleigh, and you probably don't even realize what you're doing, is you're shining a light for other women to think, right, I can do that role. I can do that role. We're in an industry that was predominantly male, the fintech and all of that sort of malarkey was predominantly male. I'm going back to when we first did our first Accountants. There was only 1 or 2 women on the team. And this is when I was working for Thomson Reuters. I believe it's about 50-50 now. And so what you're doing in your role is you're showing that, you know, women can get these great roles within these fintech companies.
Right? And this is what
so
I
well
spend
done.
my time talking about and what I'm passionate about, right? This is if you want to come and see me talk about this, I'll be at Accountants speaking.
What time, what day?
10:30, day 2. There we go.
Okay.
I knew that one.
That's good. That's good. But, when they finish talking to you, they can come around and watch me, because I'm not until midday. I'd hate to think I had a competition with you.
No, but exactly that, right? And that's what I'll be talking about at Accountants, is how do you attract, onboard, and retain that diverse talent, right? Be that women, be that diversity of race, diversity of thought, those that are neurodiverse, etc., right? And it's all about that, because I think the more that we can shine a light on those people, what we're doing to support, how you can get them involved, like you say, it just creates those pathways, right? And says to people, hey, actually, these things are possible. This is what it looks like. This is how we support. This is how we get people involved. And I think that will always be a top passion of mine, obviously next to payments. But
yeah, absolutely. Oh, we've gone over our 15 minutes
by
a long shot. One day I might just do 15 minutes, but not today. You've been absolutely delightful. Lovely to chat to you. I've just got one more question, but before we do that, I'm just going to go to my guest for next week.
No problem.
Which is here. I've got the lovely Jenny. Come back, Jenny. All is forgiven. There she is. So Jenny Gillam is going to come in and have a chat with us. Now, I spoke to Jenny and her colleagues when they launched Fresh Pay. Can't remember when that is, but she asked me if she could come back. So I'm sure she's got some exciting things to say. So I can't wait to catch up with Jenny and find out how all that's going on. So back to you. Spotlight on you. Remember back to when you were at primary school, Kayleigh. What did you want to do when you left school?
I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. And I actually the plan was to go and do medicine at Cambridge, and that's the track I was on. Went to college, did chemistry, biology, maths, geography, and a Cambridge pre-university course in global perspectives, and then hated it, dropped out and joined the bank.
No way.
No
way. That's amazing. So you didn't go to uni?
Didn't, no. Did first year at college, didn't enjoy it at all, dropped out, and then did an apprenticeship with NatWest.
Good for you. Good for you. And look at you now. Look at you now on top shows and speaking at Accountants. And that's the thing, right? You've got to do what your heart tells you to do, not what other people tell you to do. And I was chatting with somebody earlier on one of my posts where we did some work with school children. And you've got to try all these different things, haven't you? You've got to kiss a few frogs. You've got to just have a go. And so, yeah, and find what suits you. So well done you. I love that story. I've never spoken to anybody that wanted to be a plastic surgeon. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
Kayleigh, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been lovely to have a chat with you. Can't wait to see you at Accountants. And don't forget to put the name of the stand in the chat. So thanks ever so much indeed. Cheerio, Kayleigh. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You get out what you put in.